Only a fool says that there is no God. Please try and watch this video to the end to see that indeed there is a God in heaven and is all powerful God. This is my husband here lying on the bed. It started on the 8th of July. That was on a Friday of this year. It started with malaria. By Sunday, we started treating typhoid, and by Monday, it became paralyzed. The doctor called it paraplegia, paralysis from waist down. That's our doctor. You can see by Tuesday morning, he had to refer us to Gwagwalada Teaching Hospital. So we were leaving the hospital, his own hospital. But before going to Gwagwalada Teaching Hospital, we felt we should first go to Glory Dome to first receive the spiritual deliverance before we start or we commence medical intervention. So we left the hospital, we headed towards Glory Dome, that's Dunamis headquarters in Abuja here. So after we left Glory Dome, it was like this all through. Couldn't pray, couldn't say amen, couldn't do nothing. So after we left Glory Dome, we headed towards Gwagwalada Teaching Hospital. So on getting to Gwagwalada Teaching Hospital, they could not diagnose what was going on. So they said we should go and run an MRI. That was on Tuesday night. So by Wednesday morning, we set up to Bayes University Hospital. It's about 30 to 40 minutes from Gwagwalada. For those who are not staying here, this was Wednesday when we were leaving Gwagwalada Teaching Hospital for the MRI we were asked to go and do. As you can see, couldn't do anything. We had to lift him from one place to another and all that. So we left Gwagwalada Hospital that day, and the car broke down twice before getting to Bayes University Hospital. As a matter of fact, the second time the car broke down, we used a private car. So we flagged down a private car that waited and helped us to get to Bayes University while we left the car for the brother to fix it for us. So this was Bayes University. As you can see him, we rushed him, or we took him in. He went in for the MRI. But a few minutes inside the MRI machine, they brought him out. He was having serious convulsion and seizure, so they could not proceed with the MRI. We had to rush him back to the hospital. But because FMC Hospital is quite close to Bayes University Hospital where we went for the MRI, so we decided to go to the nearest hospital, which was about 5 minutes drive. On getting to FMC, the car got broke down. The emergency had no space. After a lot of confusion, we headed towards Gariki. This was Gariki. That same night at Gariki, they still insisted we should go and run the MRI. We used the ambulance to take him to a private lab where we did the MRI. So we returned by 12:30. That was entering Thursday now. So on Thursday, we sent a message to our resident pastor, Pastor Adams. He sent Dr. Pastor Paul Ineche's number. We sent a message to him. He called us that Thursday night and they prayed for him. So by Friday, the ICU team came and they said he was no longer a candidate for ICU, though he was still not conscious. So that Friday, they fixed this pipe for him where they were feeding him with water and pap. So he was unconscious like this till Saturday, when he now regained his consciousness. But look at him. This was how he was from Wednesday to Saturday before he regained his consciousness. So after he regained his consciousness, he began to hallucinate, and the whole body was paralyzed from head to toe. You can see him here. We had to hold him up. Even when we have to sit him up, we still have to hold him up, else he would fall back. So he was completely paralyzed after he regained his consciousness, and it was like this for a long time. We had to leave the emergency and we were being transferred to the male general ward. So you can see how they are helping him to sit on the wheelchair so that they can wheel him to the male general ward, because we have been at the emergency from Wednesday to I think Monday. This should be Monday night, where we now headed towards the male general ward. And you will see him when they are lying him down. He could not do anything by himself. Now we've gotten to the male general ward. You can see him. He cannot do anything by himself. Nothing, not even to lift a finger. See how we had to put him on the bed and still had to arrange him on the bed. The condition was as bad as that. They said it was the nerve that got damaged along the line. And usually nerve takes a long time for it to come up. This was my daughter's birthday, so I brought them to come and spend time with their father. We are heading towards physiotherapy unit here because we started physiotherapy at the hospital. They used this machine to make him stand, but after leaving this machine, he still could not stand. So he would only stand here, and after which it's back to wheelchair and couldn't use the legs. And they had to, you can see three people here. There are two physiotherapists here, one on the right, one on the left, and the brother is on the bed trying to, raise him up. So we wore the Solomba jacket for him and some things on the knees with the walker with three people, yet he could not stand. As you can see, the physiotherapist is trying to push him back to make him stand erect. See the brother holding him from the back. So this was it. We were discharged after over 2 weeks, going to 3 weeks. We were discharged, but still not working. Only he could only lift his hands a little, but he was still paralyzed. And we left and with a very terrible bed sore. So this now we're at home here. The therapy continued, visitations, prayers, and support from family and friends. Everybody, I can't even start mentioning names because I don't want to skip anybody's name. Neighbors, family, friends, brothers, sisters in church, in every sphere, at the street, in the street, everywhere, they rally around us. You can see him here. They had to help him to kneel down, and you can see that he was in so much pains, so he could not still do any of these things by himself. We were even feeding him for a while before he could start using his hand to feed himself. So the therapy continued, and God took control. We kept connecting, we kept praying, we kept believing God. And one of the healing and deliverance services in church that we connected, he got the faith to do without the worker. In that particular healing and deliverance service that day, too many people with paralysis were healed. So that was how my husband, tried to stand up for the first time and walk without the use of the walker. You will see the video now very soon. But here, he was still using the walker to move. As you can see, even with the walker, it was like a step for maybe 1 minute or per minute. But gradually, God was taking control. God was helping us. It was not funny. It was not easy, but God was faithful and people stood by us, honestly. People stood by us. I don't know if you can notice that his boxers at the back was shooting out. Like I said, had bed sore. This was the first time he was able to do without the worker. We were connecting to healing and deliverance service. So the moment he saw other people throwing away their walking sticks and crutches, he pushed the worker aside and he tried for the first time to stand up. We can see he still couldn't stand well, but he was able to do without the worker for the first time. So the doctor actually prepared her mind for a very long time, but got to control. This is a bed sore after two debridements, and look at him here with his family coming to thank God on his feet. This God is too awesome. Please, in case you have not surrendered your life to Jesus, Jesus owns your life. He is too wonderful. He is too merciful. He is too great. Don't let the enemy kill you like a chicken. Give your life to Christ. He is very real. Thank you for watching.